Alrighty, guys, it is 3:30 and change. Time to wrap it up for today. And I guess a little bit of the afternoon weakness is what we're getting, but it's pretty sloppy. Not by any means any straight shot to the downside. It's kind of drifting lower, but it is nonetheless to the downside. So last time we did an update here, we were trading around about the 68, 90s, 80 to 90s here. M period came in noon. They started knocking this down. Right, actually pretty much at 2:30, this the first attempt happened in L period, so running it lower and then maybe just drifting lower. I haven't even tried to trade this thing. It just hasn't really set up in any way, which it's just been going back and churning back and forth. It's in this very slow-mo fashion. It moves a little bit and then churns and then moves. Not much going on with that at all. So not anything with that. So and at this point, I'm just staying. We're going to probably stay on the well, not quite on the short side, but after the weakness, you kind of had to just um, accept that the short side is kind of dominating right now. Not necessarily leaning short yet. I mean, I'm waiting for them to take out that 69, 65 before I really start thinking about that. But the fact that they're heading lower in the afternoon, so afternoon weakness is not a great sign. I just have to kind of sit there and try to figure out what to do next in terms of in terms of um, hopping on the short side or not. And I would say that I would start off from the short side at this point, given the fact that they backed off a little bit. The afternoon weakness is just never a good sign. We haven't really moved a whole lot away from the range, so we're pretty much trading in the same range just to get to the bigger picture here. So if they were taking out the 64, 65 and the 60, 69, 69, 69, 65 and the 69 50s, I would be a lot more aggressive on the short side, but they're kind of just drifting lower towards the session lows or the London low. So not necessarily getting too concerned about it, but I would probably stay on the short side still just to see how far they want to take it. Uh, it's been churning, back and forth. I mean, it's not going straight down. It's not like it's selling off. It just a little move and then churns and back and forth it goes. So I would just start off range bound again. I would probably start with a slight bias to the downside. Let's see how far they can take it. If they start taking out these areas, the 69.55s and the 69.50s, these two support areas, I would be leaning in on the short side a lot more aggressively. But this is just kind of sloppily drifting lower, I would call it. I haven't taken any trades on the ES today. I did a couple of Nasdaq trades. So no trades on the ES, but a couple of Nasdaq trades earlier on, and I mean, and it was pretty. That was over here when it was actually moving a little bit. I tried a long trade here on the retracement from the mean. I say it got a little bit, it got knocked down just because it's so volatile. And I tried another one here when it started taking out this bar heading up towards the midpoint. Better trade going, enough to maybe $50 or so worth of a trade, and then I ended up with 17 because as you can see, they ran right against me again. So I was expecting this Nasdaq trade to kind of try to run it across the range, but it wasn't going to happen. And then you can see the whole thing has just been drifting in the sideways ever since. Finally, after that, at the 2 o'clock hour, it started drifting lower. As you can see, it hasn't really gone a whole lot. It is a little bit. Nasdaq has been moving a little bit more than the ES. So definitely more trading opportunities there. But they move down and then just drift up here and just go sideways and then a little bit lower. It's not. You kind of have to be stepping in on the retracement and hope you don't get a good enough trade location, not get knocked out of it. So I would they're right back here to that midpoint at the 60, the 700s, and then you can see on the bigger picture they are right here at the mode. So heading down to the London low now. If they start taking out the London low, I would be a lot more aggressive on the short side. Put the London low, maybe the 60, the 25, 630s. After they took out the 800s here, definitely a potential short. I was trying to get short a couple of times, not clicking in any orders. I was looking for the opportunity, but they ran it lower hard and then retrace and then nothing, and then hard to the downside retrace, and then I sit there. So I already in L period had a little pop, then they started drifting lower. It was actually a nice little run to the downside, and just back up, going sideways. So I would say this last part is definitely tradable, and I haven't really paid a whole lot of attention to it. Overall the churn has been, when it actually moves, it happens pretty quick, and then you just kind of slowly drift back up again, or we don't do anything. So this whole thing right there after that rotation down to the mean, and just sideways action, and this is just not. It's just something you just had to be really aggressive to want to trade. So I didn't do anything more than that. Just left my two trades there, 1750 on that for now. So I would start off with the bias to the downside on both against the Nasdaq, given the late in the afternoon weakness. On the Nasdaq, you can see we are right back here to the midpoint, and we'll see what the overnight is going to entail. And we don't have a whole lot of news to drive the market tomorrow either. If I look at the the only thing we got is at 9:15 we get industrial production, then we have housing market index at 10. So not a whole lot of news to drive the market. I wouldn't see anything which is going to really get us all excited about the violent market. So I'm kind of expecting more of the same tomorrow. I mean, it also depends a little bit on how the overnight develops. If you get more weakness in the overnight, yeah, I would probably start off on the short side a bit more aggressively. But overall today, as you can see, the action has been nice run up here in the overnight, and we has kind of been retracing. We kind of stalled in the day session. Now we've been just kind of retracing the overnight. So we're back to the range. No follow through to the upside. And I would start off both ES and Nasdaq looking for early weakness and see if they can take it lower. And on the ES below that 69.50 and the 55.58 here, these two support areas, I would be a lot more aggressive on the short side. And on the Nasdaq, that would be the 680s here and the 630s, these two support areas. They come out, I would be a lot more aggressive on the short side. But right now, it looks like they're retracing the overnight, even though it's weakness. So it's no fun to watch that. On the bond side of things, no trades there either, and it hasn't really set up any. Nothing has really set up the way I wanted to. There's a couple of rotations back and forth. Early on this morning, you had this little stall right here at the fives, but the fact that it ticked one down there, it kind of stopped me from getting in on anything there. On the way up here, this one here saying tick higher, and then two bars like that. No, this is something I usually don't want to take those either. And so I'm looking for more like this, like a few bars going sideways like this. They can't extend, but I'm looking at it at the edges, on the upper or lower edge. When it happens in the midpoint like that, it's just anyone's guess where it's going to go. But if you're on the outside of the range, like kind of happening right now on the lower end here at the 06s, so this would be a potential buying opportunity right now. They're sitting here right now, but it's too late in the session to do anything. But that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. So that happens right at the open, at the London close towards the 2 o'clock hour. Great setups. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not stepping in front of it. These things here, they say after the fact, they're easy to talk about when it runs up like this. But if you're set in a bond trade, you get short there, you realize that they're going to try to take it higher. You find yourself, it looks like this when you try to take the trade. By the time you get stopped out, it looks completely different. So I've been through it a few times, and that's why I'm giving myself some room on those. Sometimes you get lucky. I mean, you can be aggressive at the edges. You have to step in front of the edge really aggressively and hope it doesn't run you over. And it could work, but it could also be pretty easily that you get yourself messed up. So anyway, we'll wrap it there for now, guys. And I will see you guys back bright and early in the morning. Alrighty, guys. Later.